Hi, it's Chris and Susan, Greg and Fiona, and we are at a lovely hotel called Les Manas in a village called Courtil-Verger, just on the outskirts of Neuilly-Saint-Georges, which is in the Bourgogne region, which is, as you can see on the table, the wine-making region of France, and it's one of our favourite places. Chris and I first discovered this some 10 years ago, and there's a bit of a story to that, but we're not going to share that with you right now. We're just relaxing. We're on our way back to the UK and we're staying here overnight, but we've had a couple of things happen to us. We've had a phone call in the car and we've had a couple of emails while we've been travelling, and we've had some questions come through, and I think they're pretty relevant because they're the sort of questions most people ask. So while we're here and enjoying a glass of wine, we're going to chat about that, and a little bit later, I think it's about 6 o'clock, isn't it, Chris? We're going to be having a wine tasting known here in France as a dégustation. We started early, but we're going to tell you a little bit about the relevance of a dégustation and about choosing who you work with in your online business. So I'm going to pass this to Chris now, and then we're going to have some opinions around the table to help you, give you some information about what you do with your business.
Thank you.
It is on.
It is on. The microphone's on. Yes, this is very, very relaxed, very informal. But yeah, the call we had in the car coming up here this morning was about choosing somebody you work with. And you know, we work in Empower Network, and we run our 10-10 formula, and Greg and Fiona have their system, because even though we all work in Empower Network, we're not in competition, and we actually share information, which is fantastic, because people come to work with you on the basis of know, like and trust, and something builds a relationship between them and you. I think that's fair, isn't it?
Absolutely right.
And this is what sort of sparked this video, was the fact that we had this conversation in the car this morning while we were driving up the motorway, and the guy sort of said, "Oh, I'm ready to get started with the Empower Network. Why should I join with you as opposed to somebody else he was considering joining with?" And our answer was, well, basically, you need to make a decision on who you want to work with. It's not up to us to convince you, because that's where the conversation was going. He was asking us to help him make a decision and to convince him why he should come and work with us. And you know, to be perfectly honest, I don't want to convince people to come and work with me. They've either built a relationship with me and something clicks, and they trust me and they know me and they want me to help them build their business, or they don't. They've found somebody else who that applies to, which is absolutely great. It doesn't bother me or bother you, does it, Susan, one way or the other?
Not at all. And I think, Chris, if I may take the mic back, I think, you know, you hit on the word there, which was convince. You know, we're none of us online, and I'm sure Greg and Fiona will agree with me, and I'll pass the mic to them in a minute. We're not here at any time to convince anybody to do anything. We're here because of our experience and working online to offer solutions to people's problems. And if they are looking to start an online business, we're here with the various programs and platforms that we use to give them those solutions. They have to choose, is that platform program right for me? Will it deliver the results that I'm looking for? And will the people, either Greg and Fiona or Chris and myself, be the people they want to work with? So I just really wanted to really just get over this convincing thing, because nobody's here to convince, and that's the worst thing, because I can assure you, if we were convincing people to join us in our business, they wouldn't last very long and it wouldn't be a successful relationship. So sorry for interrupting that, Chris. I'm going to pass that back.
That's all right, you can pass it to Greg.
Actually, I'm going to pass it to Greg, because I know you've got something to say on that, because I saw your face when we were having this call, and I know you were itching to say something.
Yeah, I mean, because, you know, when people are trying to want someone to convince them. It's like they're trying to play people off against one another, and really that's not what we're all about. As Susan was saying, and Chris was saying as well, it's really just about, you know, if you like somebody and you want to work with them, then make the decision and work with them. If you don't like them, then make the decision not to, but, you know, make a decision. That's probably the most important thing. But one thing that when we got here tonight, which I thought was very relevant to running an online business, is we got here and the owner of the vineyard, he had recently opened a bottle of wine which was 35 years old, a Jeroboam. I don't know if you know what a Jeroboam is. It's about 4 bottles. It's about 4 bottles of wine in one bottle, but this was from 1976, and he just went and poured that for us. We didn't know him. He went and poured us a glass of this wine, and we tasted it and everything, and it was just like, we know, like, and trust him now. I mean, he gave us a free gift or a free sample or whatever. There was nothing in it for him. It was just really just to greet us and things like that. So that's just one really good way that you can get people to know you. You know, it's just a nice little icebreaker that he had.
And are we more likely to buy more?
Are we more likely to buy? Yes. I mean, and he's also given us some food here that we're going to have in a minute. We're much more likely. There was he wasn't trying to sell us anything. We just went and done it just because, you know, he'd given us that initial thing. So yeah, it's really just about, you know, being nice to people, sharing with them. And then, you know, people are going to make a decision whether they want to work with you or not. There's nothing more to it than that.
But it's pretty much the same sort of thing. We know you guys get emails the same as we do, the same sort of thing. People come straight in, they say, thanks for your email.
Yeah.
Tell me why I need to join you. It's the strangest it really is the strangest thing. And I know Fiona and I were chatting over coffee today, weren't we, at breakfast, and I know you've got very strong opinions on it, just as I have. So rather than me nattering away here, I'm going to pass this over to Fiona and let you give her opinion on exactly that.
Well, it is the strangest thing, and we're not in this business to convince people, because every, you know, adult human being has got a mind of their own, and they've also got the capability to make up their own mind. So we actually look at people as human beings and not as children, and believe that, you know, that they can make their own choices and choose quite rightfully. And about choice, not only is it the choice of who you work for, it's also the choice of the program that you work with. And Susan said that, you know, in half an hour's time, we're going to go into this enormous wine cellar just behind us and do a wine tasting. And
let's show them.
And yeah, I'll keep talking whilst Chris pans around. So we're going to go and do a wine tasting, and we are going to taste different varieties of white wines. They'll all be Burgundies because we're in the Burgundy region of France, and different varieties of red wine. And based on what we taste, and therefore what we like, and therefore what we have an affinity with, you know, that's what we're going to be inclined to want to buy or taste more of or try more of. And it's the same with online business products, and also the same with having multiple streams of income. You know, like if you happen to like 2 wines, then you are going to buy 2 wines. And if you happen to like 2 online marketing systems, there's nothing wrong with buying 2 online marketing systems. And that's exactly what all of us here have done. You know, not only are we suggesting, you know, that you make your own decisions, work with who you have an affinity work with, but also choose the right program for you for the right reasons. And the whole thing for us, the whole crux of the matter for us, is that we do have multiple streams of income. You know, we have invested in multiple programs just to give us flexibility, to make sure that we've got our net cast wide. You know, if one falls over, then we've still got a lot of income rolling in whilst we're savouring wine here in Burgundy and in France.
Oh, yeah, which is absolutely. Sorry, Fiona.
So just to wrap up, just so you get it straight, do do have multiple streams of income. Do pick programs that you have an affinity with, and for the right reasons. Do your research first. Sample the free products. You know, sample. We've got free membership systems. You know, all of us. Chris and Susan is their 10-10 formula, and Greg and I have teamed up with some other couples to come up with our Empowerful Success team. So do your research. You know, sample the free tastings and make your own decisions really as to what's right for you. Any other words to wrap up?
Yeah, I think the thing is you just have to make a decision,
That is the key
and
answer,
that's where this sort of conversation was going that we had on the phone while we were driving up here. Was, you know, the person we were talking to was trying to get us to make the decision, and
We're not going to do that.
I'm not going to do that, because he was saying to me, oh, I'm going to meet the other person at the weekend. And I said, well, fine, you know, from what you've said to me, you've asked us to convince you and we won't. You're going to ask him to convince you and he won't, because we know who it is. And so ultimately the decision is still yours, and you know, you could make a decision today on Tuesday, or you'll make a decision on Saturday or Sunday, but you're still going to be in the same position. At some point you have to make a decision, and that decision is down to you. So what we would suggest that you do is, as Fiona said, find the right program for you, find the right person to work with, and just make your commitment. Because at the end of the day, if in the longer term it doesn't work for you, then you can always change your mind and do something different. So, you know, it's like when we do our marketing, there is no perfect solution. You know, there's nobody's going to say to us, do this and it will work for you, or do that and it will work for you. It's all about your commitment, your passion for whatever it is you're trying to achieve, and whatever your dream is. If whatever system you want to go into, or whatever program you want to go into, helps you move forward to achieving whatever your dream is, then go for it. But all I would say is just make the decision.
So should we have a cheers?
So I think we should
Yeah.
have a cheers. Yes,
And
cheers,
it's
Commitment and decision making.
Absolutely.
Taking
Cheers.
massive
Cheers.
action.
Yeah.
absolutely.
Cheers. So we look forward to seeing you on the other side.
Yep.
Cheers.